Yeah, so continuing from my other video, I tried to make some videos on my laptop, but they were too big to upload. Um, these are like my last final videos before I come offline, and I'm just encouraging people to do the same. Um, there's a million videos with people, telling you information that they've got from somewhere else. And I think what's more important now is people's own personal experiences and what they think and feel, because that's what's important, and that's what they're trying to take away, people's humanity. Um, we're currently in a situation where nobody knows what's going to happen next, like a sense of anticipation, dread, which is what they want. They want people on halt, on standstill, waiting to do whatever they want to do, waiting for their next move so everyone can act. Now, it's way past the time for some kind of revolution. Now, that doesn't mean you have to start chopping heads off. It just means you have to stop paying into their paradigm. Now, as I said, I've got nothing written down, so I wanted to just say some bits. We were talking about chemtrails yesterday. That's just one aspect of it. And I wanted to mention an idea that I had years ago, and I put it on the internet, but it didn't really take off. Now, seeing as though a lot of us are admitting that our children are becoming ill from the skies being sprayed, and there's lots of proof and stuff, what I propose is a mass, next time people's children are ill, that, if you've got like-minded people with you, or even if you're brave enough to do it on your own, literally write to the school and say, my child's staying off, not because I'm keeping him off, not because he's ill naturally, because they're spraying poisonous, noxious gases into the sky, which is seeping down onto people, which is making them ill. And if we can all start doing that in an organised way, they'll have no choice but to start thinking and taking it on board, because you can be damn sure that some of the teachers know about it. You can be damn sure that some of the teachers are worried about it. Now, what you've got to remember is everyone's like you in some respect. They all have fear, they all have children, a lot of children, they have fear for their children, they have fear for the future. Now, what's needed is for people to be brave enough to stand up and say that, so other people become brave enough. That's just one aspect. Now, moving on past the chemtrails and the poisoning of the sky, which to me is like insane, that we just kind of let it go by, because it's the air that you breathe, not to mention the water's being poisoned. So, on top of the air being sprayed, the water being poisoned, the food being genetically modified, society becoming increasingly, faker and more superficial. The younger generation have got no idea about most of them, about self-development in the right way. It's all done vicariously. People are living vicariously through social media for likes, with literally people at the end times, however you want to interpret that. Now, it doesn't have to be the end of everything, but you'll be hopelessly enslaved if you don't do something now. And the main thing that anyone can do goes back to the 60s, tune in, cop out or whatever, tune into the vibration and cop out of the system. Because I know so many people that are sat there waiting to get the right amount of money, the right things paid before they act. And that's the trap. That at some point in the future you'll be more freer than what you are now. Well, you can look around you and realise that that's not happening. We're becoming less and less free. I was watching a thing today on about China. They've got face recognition in China to pay for things now, so you can go in a store, it looks at your face, and it takes out your bank account. And it was another example of a man crossing the road, and he was jaywalking, and his cameras everywhere, and it flashed up red on the camera, and he got a ticket. Before he had a chance to mention anything about that ticket, it was taken out of his bank account. Now, we are heading that very same way. Not everybody, like I said, there's people living out of the system, and they're the people that are not going to be affected as much by it. It will, you know, there will be eventually if everybody just rolls over. But if people stop focusing in on the bullshit that they're telling you and start doing what your own heart is telling you, you'll be a lot better off. Now, I know everyone's eager to kind of maintain some kind of normality, but it's not normal. It's insanity. Yeah, how are you trying to normalise insanity? Yeah, there's a phrase or a saying, a quote by Krishna Guru Murta that says, "It's no matter of good health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society." You can figure that out for yourself. There's also another quote by Einstein, supposedly, that says, "Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results is the definition of insanity, because you're obviously not taking on board the fact that it's not working." Now, the system's hopelessly broken, and the only people's left to pick up the pieces is the people. Because if you hand over the power to anybody and the responsibility, because you don't want to take responsibility, your fellow man and woman, which is what we're here for, caretakers of the planet, and you want to hand it over and pay some taxes to save you that, to save your responsibility, your duty on earth, you want to pay somebody else to do that. That's where the trouble lies. You don't need massive big governments. You don't need, you know, town halls and anything else. You need communities organising for themselves. You know, all the doctors and nurses aren't, you know, exclusive to the NHS. You take away the NHS, you've still got people that are qualified in healing people. They're just all focused on the NHS, which, by the way, is another thing that's broken. If anybody's been in hospital at the minute, you've seen how people are getting treated. A friend of mine died recently. The way they treated him was terrible. He was kind of having a breakdown as well. But, you know, the help and the care that was there wasn't. It was inhumane. Yeah, and that's what we're dealing with. Inhumane. Which is why people give credence to the fact that it might be undercover lizards, aliens with no human kind of traits, that's running the show. Now, I always thought that the flat Earth was a psyop, which it has been used as. But now, over the past few weeks and months, I'm starting to look at things and thinking we don't know anything. We don't know one thing. Everything that we know has been taught to us by people that have lied. All the pictures of space are fake. And you know, the moon landings, you know, it's all questionable at the very least. Yeah, even for the most avid of non-conspiracy theorists. So how long are we going to ignore this insanity while everything crumbles around her? Now I'm going to speak for myself. It seems that it's not just me, but the people around me, yeah, are crumbling. Yeah. Now it can be taken one of two ways. It can be done one of two ways. You can let go of the old and let that crumble and be renewed like the phoenix from the flames, or you can take it all in and you can crumble bit by bit and shred your own ego down and your own personality so you've got nothing left. Yeah, and then you'll end up in a mental hospital. Your people saying you're crazy when you nearly had a spiritual breakthrough, which is what happens to thousands of people. So what I'm asking is, what are we prepared to do? There's plenty of things that you can do, and the first thing is organise. Speak to each other. Stop watching TikTok videos of people in America telling you something that you already know, and start thinking what's the solution to the problems in your own life. And if you care enough about your community, then outstretch it to them. Where I am, there doesn't seem to be much community spirit. There doesn't seem to be much fight. You know, look at what was happening before COVID with the yellow vests in France, and I think there was 1 million people on the streets in China. And them Chinese are scared of bugs, so all they need to say is the bug and they're straight off the streets. But before this, people were rebelling more than ever before. Not to mention what I fell for, that Extinction Rebellion controlled opposition crap, which is basically loads of rice cakes munchers, you know, juggling fire and taking over parks with the permission of the police. But apart from that, there was some genuine resistance. it's gone. Yeah, everybody's feeling isolated, alone, with their own problems. The relationships with people have broken down because of COVID, because of other things, because of finances, because of losing things, because of distance that they have created. So you're here, we're here, all of us, to have your own destiny. So what I'm asking you is, are you going to follow your own destiny? Or are you going to be led down the garden path by a bunch of satanic, Luciferian, worshipping scumbags? Now's the time. I feel like screaming. That's how it is. I normally smoke weed. I've not had weed for a few days, and I think I've been smoking it to ignore the shit around me. Now I've not, and I can see clearly, and I can see we can sit here hoping to get to the next Christmas, the next holiday, the next break that you can get, while things crumble around us. It's silly and it's cowardly, and we've all succumbed to their brainwashing and their programming, and it's time to stop. Yeah, we see through your plans. Your programming is done. Your ego is your programming. The things that trigger you is your programming. The things that hurt you as a child and how you've been taught to think about that is your programming. You can reset yourself. You don't need a big reset. You just need to clear your mind and start again. So this is a very important time, I think. I think every age has had, the naysayers, the end is nigh, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. In a positive way, the end is nigh. The people that have been running this show don't know how to run it anymore. So they're trying the best tricks and plans to subjugate everybody as much as what they can. And scarily enough, it's working. So, I'm asking you, how much do you care about your children? How much do you care about your own life? How much do you care about your own destiny on planet Earth? And if the answer is not much, then cool. And if the answer is, no, I like to get them all the things, physical things that I didn't have, I'm sorry, that's bullshit. It's a cop-out. It's the same as paying the government taxes so you don't have to help people, so you don't have to be a functioning member of your own community. And it doesn't wash anymore. Nobody wants to see all your presents under the tree, that you've overspent on your children, that you're going to end up paying for half the year, while other children eat crap off rubbish tips in India and Africa and don't have anything. Because that's the nature of capitalism. In order for someone to gain, somebody else has to lose. Now, everybody's losing and some people are gaining, and it filters down in a descending order. So, do we care enough about the people that are starving all around the world, that are a lot less fortunate than us, while we're engaging in these capitalist pastimes? It's sickening. It's like, you're not normal unless you go to a restaurant and post it. You're not normal unless you're consuming. I used to speak to a guy in a bar where I used to live, and we used to have this conversation, and he used to keep saying it. I don't know if he made it up, but I'm coining it. I'm giving it him. He used to say, the consumer will be consumed by consumption. Well, we've been consumed by consumption to the point where people are dying in hospital because of overconsumption. Through cigarettes, through alcohol, through drugs, through food. Yeah, like it's a magical cure for the stress to put a plaster on it. It's not. The only cure for this existential, apocalyptic nightmare is to purify your mind and your heart and unite. Just let that sink in a minute. And I'm asking you all, I'm reaching out for all of you to speak out, to make videos. You don't need to make pie charts, flow charts, or point to somebody else giving you the information on TikTok. Just what's important, what's massively more important than that at the minute, because it's an overload of information, is how you feel as a human being, and share your experiences with each other. And then we know, then we've got an idea, then we've got some realness on how people really think and their way of expressing it, which isn't somebody else's way of expressing it. We're getting the truth, or what they're saying is the truth, filtered down, which then becomes Chinese whispers and not credible. Now that aside, I'm making these videos because I'm coming off social media, and I advise everybody else, if it's doing you ready, to do the same and focus and concentrate on your own life and the people around you. Yeah, while we higher the vibration, because if everyone sets the mind to it, it will happen. If everybody puts it in the mind and acts accordingly and unplugs from this shit, we can change it. But it's up to you. Yeah, and there is no time other than now. I'm saying this out of love for people, out of love for my own family, and out of care for the wider community in the world that's suffering. We're here to heal it. That's your job. And it doesn't mean you got to go around being Mother Teresa or Martin Luther King or Gandhi. It means you heal what you can within yourself and within those around you. And if you feel like you can do more, then you do more. Now, I'm sorry this video is long. It's going on 15 minutes, far too long for most people to even watch. But this is said as a warning and as a reach out to people to say, make your own videos. I want to hear what you're saying. I want to share your experiences. I want to talk to you, and I think we could all learn from each other, not 3 times down the line, someone telling us some information on a video. What's important is how you feel as a human being about what's going on and what you think you can do to change it. We are in them times. Bless, peace, and good luck, people.